Hello YouTube and welcome to another review, and this time we have ITALERI's World War II 172 scale American Infantry. Obviously this was an old ESCI kit which ITALERI have taken over the moulds and are still racking them out now to this day. This set's quite an important set. ESCI came out and they came in with a bit of a bang, because basically what they would pack in a box would be lots of soldiers, lots of poses and lots of equipment, so they were quite something when they came out. They certainly made a splash, and this kit probably is the epitome of that. There's lots happening inside this box. Artwork wise, it's not bad. I've got no problem with this. ITALERI have done a fairly decent job, although the uniform is slightly different to what we get inside the box. As you can see on the box again, it's like the British paratroops. It says it's War Games approved. I don't know who's approving that. I don't know. I don't have the information on that. I will try and find out. But obviously there's nothing in this kit that, you know, makes it so. I mean, any 172 kit could be War Games approved. So no problem there. We've got the mortar here, which we do contain the kit. We've got a grease gun here. We've got a BAR. We've got the Browning water-cooled heavy machine gun. We've got a bazooka, and we've got a guy with an M1 Garand, an officer. All of these are contained in the box. The poses might not be right, but at least, you know, they're not really having us on. What's actually on there is actually in the box, so not too bad. Let's go straight in with the back here. So what we get is standard fare for ITALERI. We've got quite a decent little picture of the soldier here. It's got a nice paint guide. It's saying use their paints, which is fair enough. Like I say, it's tunic here. Inside the box they've got rather large pockets, which I couldn't find in my guide to military uniforms. So this looks more accurate to me than what's actually contained in the box, but I'm splitting hairs here. It's not bad. 50 unpainted figures, which is fair enough. Actual size, so again we just have a little outline of a chap here. Nothing is in your face as airfix, so you know, it's very subtle. That's probably what I could say about it. Nothing so much going on the sides, and no, that's pretty much it. So I would say let's have a look at the sprues, and let's give this a go. So where to start? Where shall we start? I'm going to pick the camera up and let's have a look. So this is probably one of the earlier ESCI sets, so this would be early 80s I'd imagine, so around about something like 82, something like that. Now ESCI, as I've said before, and this is ITALERI I know, but let's just talk about ESCI because these are the guys that made this set. Were quite well known to me for just a bit iffy sort of poses here and there. The good thing about ESCI was there was phenomenal detail. They really did detail these troops up and give them all the equipment you could, and this box is no exception. This chap here is the oddity. I'll tell you why in a minute. Can you see anything wrong with that pose? I'll probably say if he's going to fire that rifle, he's not going to get very far. The stock is way over his shoulder, so I don't think that's a very comfortable way to fire a rifle at all. So pose on that one's slightly iffy. I've got no problems with the guy standing up. The grenades on this guy's chest on the left probably look like something else. That would be my little tidbit there, as I'll say, no pun intended. This chap here has got a BAR, and I've got no problem with that. Looks pretty good. You can tell straight away that's a BAR. ESCI tried to get a bit clever there and use his straps hanging, but it probably just didn't slightly pull off. I'd probably be inclined to cut those straps off, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'd probably just cut those off, I think. But you can see what I mean about the tunic. It just looks a bit smart there, and it's got these double-breasted pockets, which I don't think is entirely accurate. Again, we've got quite a bit of detail. If you look at the guy with the grease gun, hopefully we'll focus in. Guy with the grease gun's actually on his helmet. He's got his strap folded over the top of his helmet. I don't know whether you're getting that. And the other guy, his is hanging down and he's got netting on top of his helmet, and the other guy has no netting at all. So yeah, that's quite decent. Don't know if that's a better position. Yeah, that might be slightly better to do it this way. So yeah, we've got a lot going on in terms of guns. He's obviously got a Thompson, but it looks rather long. He's got his BAR, he's got the grease gun, he's got his M1 Garand, Thompson. Yeah, we've got quite a few figures on that sprue, so there's quite a few repeats there. So that's a full sprue of repeats. Flick them over. And this is where ESCI come into the round, because you see all that equipment is totally correct, and they're full of it. It's got his shovel in the correct position. They've all got galoshes on, some at different heights, but that's good to see. Water bottle, everything there is as it should be. And there just repeats all the way down. So in terms of detail and equipment, like I say, these are just great. I mean, like I say, there was nothing to beat them at the time. And I mean, even now, you're talking Revell might be fairly close, but I think Revell set they're in winter clothing. ITALERI have, I think it's ITALERI have another set, but all of them are doing not much. So, but it is a really quality set that is worth looking at. So yeah, just a shame there's a few limp poses in that. So here we have the Mortar guy, which is a standard ESCI mortar. It's really will be very difficult to stand up. It's not really based on any mortar in particular. It's just a mortar, and that's it. You've just got to get on with it. Having said that though, it looks fairly decent, but I know for a fact it won't stand up very well, because I've had so many of these ESCI mortars. They've all been a bit of a disappointment. Flamethrower, this set does contain a flamethrower, and there he is. We've got a guy going to ground, and this is the difference here. So they've put a bit of equipment on this chap, so he looks nowhere near as boring as the Airfix one. I can get in close. Let's see if we can get in close on this chap. Well, there. So like I say, bags of detail again. Gosh, and that's, we've got quite a few mortars. That's probably way too many, to be honest. Right, here we go with some specialist equipment. So we've got the bazooka there, we've got the officer there. Again, he's having the same problem with the grenades. It is a rather limp pose. We've got a metal detector, that's fair enough. We've got a Browning automatic machine gun, and we've also got the water-cooled Browning machine gun there. And that's going to have difficulty standing as well, trust me. Same repeat. I mean, you know, they've thrown the kitchen sink in this set. There's a lot of equipment here. I think this is a set that I would probably use some of the figures, but maybe not all. And I'd probably hope that they wouldn't look too out of place with another set. If someone does know a better set, apart from the ones that I've mentioned, then let me know and I'll review it. But this set does just suffer with a bit of, you know, ESCI's posing issues. And again, you know, there's good detail on these chaps, you know. There's our sniper guy, and they've bothered to put little ammunition pouches on him. Flamethrower. That's our mortar guy. So you see there's no base on the mortar guy. So yeah, I'm not like blown away with this set, but it was, I remember when I was growing up and that, and I wanted to get my hands on these and I didn't. And this is me looking at them really for the first time properly. So I never actually owned this set, but I always wanted it, and mainly because ESCI just packed so much stuff in there. And I mean, if anything, it was probably, if it had just been done slightly better, this could have been a really good set. Now, I know I mentioned that no one had done a desert US Army outfit, because obviously we know the Americans were in the North African desert, and I thought it was this set, because ESCI did do a diorama called Kasserine Pass, which obviously was the American first encounter with the Afrika Korps, which I think they lost. Which is to be expected. I mean, Germans were veterans then. But the Kasserine Pass diorama was a hard plastic set. It was slightly different to this one. It's not sold separately, I don't think. So there isn't actually a North African US Army set available. And to be honest, I think just like the British, I think the Americans have been hard done by in terms of 172 soldiers. Like I say, the couple that I've mentioned, the Revell set are winter uniforms. And the ITALERI, I'm sure it's ITALERI, there's another ITALERI set. And it's absolutely amazing, really well detailed, but not a lot of them are doing anything. So it depends what you're after. But yeah, so he's probably the weak link here, which is a shame, because and I know the BAR is quite a big chunky weapon, so I'm not too, the Thompson looks a little bit long and it's a little bit flashy. But yeah, I mean, you can't fault the uniforms, not bad, it's not far away from what it should be. But just littered with some very sort of strange posing. I could probably only name about 5 or 6 guys in this set that I would probably keep. Yeah, could have been better, but to be honest, I think this is one of the first sets they made, so I mean, you know, give them credit. I mean, it's packed with figures. I mean, the flamethrower guy's fine, haven't got a problem with him. The guy crawling along, he's fine. Yeah, there's just some strange limp looking. Yeah, probably the guy with the BAR doesn't look great, and the guy next to him with the Thompson doesn't look great. Grease gun guy, he's fair enough. So is the guy standing firing. Like I say, the one kneeling, I think he's got an issue with firing his rifle there. I don't think he's had any training. Yeah, I don't know. You guys will know better than me, maybe, if you think this set's any good. I don't know. But if there is another set out there that you want me to review, let me know. Yeah. Okay, could have been better. So, that was my review of ITALERI's American Infantry 172 scale. Yeah, didn't blow me away, but what does blow me away is just the amount of equipment in it. It's just really laser on thick. I mean, that has got everything in there that you could possibly want. It does just suffer from quite a number of dubious poses. I know the machine gun, which is the water-cooled Browning, isn't going to stand for toffee. The mortar, it doesn't stand for toffee in any of their sets. That's the Russian set, blah blah blah, because I've had them, and I don't expect that one to be any different. But gosh, what's out there? You know, it's a tough call, but I'm absolutely sure it's ITALERI, and they've got a really good set, another set, and it's really well detailed, but I'll check that out. I could be wrong. But that was my review of ITALERI's American Infantry. So I'm sorry if I disappointed you with this review, but I felt I had to do it. This was a set that I was after when I was a kid, and I never got it, and I was just interested in what it actually was like. Like I say, as a kid, I just used the US Marines from Airfix. Really, they've filled quite a large gap for me. So, well, like I say, that is my review of the American Infantry by ITALERI, formerly ESCI. This was a formerly ESCI set, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.